Welcome to Your Unique Brilliance podcast with Nicola, bringing you a weekly fresh flow of guidance, inspirations, powerful tips, and conversations designed to help you create your vision, discover your greatest diamond potential, and begin living the life you want. This is about empowering your truth, your choice, and your voice. Hello and welcome back to Your Unique Brilliance podcast with me, Nicola, for our second episode with Sonia Jackson Myles, who's president and CEO of the Sister Accord Foundation. And today we're going to find out more about the Sister Accord and more personal stories from Sonia. Thank you for listening in. Your mother must be so proud of you. And we've talked about your mom and my mom passing.
They're in heaven. They're in heaven.
Heaven together and having tea together, I hope, and pushing us forward on our purpose and our paths, and they're working through us. And you shared with me that when you made the decision to leave the corporate world and then step into the Sister Accord, what did your mom have to say about this?
My mother, and I know it's from her, working and, in their minds, my parents' generation, you get a job, you keep that job, you retire from that job. Right. When I said that I was quitting Procter and Gamble, my mother thought that something was wrong with me. So she asked my father, she calls him Jackson. She said, Jackson, I'm really concerned about Sonia. You think she's okay? I mean, people literally thought something was wrong with me, that I was losing it or something. And I said, no, Mom. I said, I really feel like this is my calling. And I feel like this is my life's mission. Like, this is what was planted inside of me as I was formed in your womb. Mm-hmm. And she said, okay, well, if you believe that, that's what I will pray for. And she was a praying warrior for me. And so many amazing things happened before she passed away. But like now, I've gone to another whole level. I said, she is up there just petitioning on my behalf and getting on everyone's nerves in heaven, saying, my baby. What about my baby? She wants this, So my mother has just been so incredibly important in my life. We were so close. Mm-hmm. And I just knew that she would live to be 100 and see all of this. But she's seeing it from a different view.
She is seeing it from a different view. And I bless her for bringing you into the world, her and your dad, for creating you and bringing you in. And I hear you. I mean, that generation of our parents was in the safe and reliable category, which makes sense. No criticism to that. They worked to get to that level, and then we've worked to go to the next level, as your sons are now going to take it to another level, right?
That's right.
And the fact that she went with you on this and stood behind you, and this was a big leap. I mean, I'm gonna ask you this. I mean, you go from the corporate world, you go now into sharing love and teaching self-love. Mm-hmm. and I'm sure in that time, you may not have put it together as well as you have now. You just knew it was a mission and you were still working on the language of it, right? And the statement of it. And how were people reacting to you when you said you were leaving the corporate world? And we've got your mom's reaction.
I got laughs. I got, good luck with that. When people said good luck with that, I'm like, geez,
I didn't know who you were.
We're like love and stuff you're talking about. People don't talk about that. They don't talk about dreams in corporate America. I had one person say, I think you're going to have to change the name Dreamwalking. You're going to have to change that because people in corporate America don't talk like that. I said, they will when I'm finished with them. Mm-hmm. They will be talking about it. And so now, everyone's talking about love. Yeah. P&G had a lead with love. I'm like, this is stuff I've been talking about for years when I was at Ford Motor Company, right?
Yeah.
And so now people are caught up to what I'm talking about. I remember when Sister Accord, I was putting everything together and one of my friends reached out and she said, hey, and she's Caucasian, right? And she said, is sister accord just for Black women? Because we're white women, we don't call each other sisters. I said, you will when I'm finished with you. So it's so funny how now, all my friends and different ethnicities and, hey, sister,
I love it.
it's a beautiful thing. And so we have to lead, right? We have to lead with the mission that we've been given. And when we do that, the multiplier effect, the spillover effect, the butterfly effect, whatever effect you want to call it, it's amazing what happens. People will feel it, they will embrace it. And I think that, I've been called for such a time as this, because look at what's happening in the world today. I mean, just think about what is happening in the world today. Our work is needed now more than ever. And so I'm so glad that I did all the things that I needed to do to prepare for what I need to do today.
Yeah, you've created this, you had to go through the structure and the foundation, become the vessel to then have the strength and the belief and the confidence to push this out there. And I think that's something that ladies are saying, as they listen and they've been sharing with me. It's like, this all sounds great, but I don't have the confidence to do this. And it's like, well, the steps to grow that confidence are with you right now. You don't have to go and create an organization right now. In fact, that wouldn't be a good thing. You need to have those experiences and learn, grow that confidence in yourself and that self-love. Because, it has to be your purpose. It has to be your mission so that you can say those words to people for them to hear you. It's your intention. It's your intention and energy behind it. And when you called me sister, I mean, my sister calls me sister, my blood sister. But when you called me sister when we first met, I was like, oh. Being English, I was very, how we can be. I was like, that I love that. That's lovely. And it took me a moment to be with it. And now it's great. I love it. I'm using it myself, thanks to you. And it just spreads that kindness and that love, as you were talking about earlier.
Because a lot of times people don't realize that they need or want that, right? So, as I'm talking to people and talking about, sister and people are like, oh, I've never had anyone treat me that way, or I haven't had anyone say the things that you're saying to me before. And I'm like, wow, that just goes to show that this is needed. When people open that love box, and it says you are loved, I had no idea how many people would say to me, I have not had anyone say the things that you were saying. I have not had anyone say, I love you. I haven't, I didn't realize that I'm loved, right? Because my relationships or lack thereof have told me otherwise. And so there's so much neglect and abuse in our world. When we can just give love, because you never know. We think we know people, right? We think from social media and all these different, or at work, but you really don't know what people are dealing with at home. And so to be able to give that love can light a spark in someone who just needed to hear sister, or just needed to hear you are loved. It's a powerful thing.
It is a powerful thing, and it's perfect timing now, because we are moving into more of an age where this is more acceptable, because of what you've been doing over the last few years. It's become more acceptable. I'm moving back into the corporate world with some of the work that I do for stress and anxiety and overwhelm. And it's natural, holistic methods are now more accepted than they were a few years ago. So people are opening up. They're really opening to that side of themselves, which is so important. And let's go into the sister accord. It's not, this is what you have created here in terms of building the sister accord. What is it that you want the sister accord to achieve?
So the mission is to have 1 billion girls and women learn how to love themselves and each other. And I oftentimes will say, imagine a world. Let's just pause for a moment and imagine a world where 1 billion girls and women have decided that they are going to love themselves and each other. So a lot of the angst and, and you see it on TV, I mean, the fighting, and not just fighting with words, you see it physically, right?
Right.
So we can get to a place where our schools can be safe spaces, where our corporations can be safe spaces. And so my vision with all of this is it's a leadership development competency to really embrace who you are and love the skin that you're in, so that you don't have time to hate. You don't have time to think about the person to the left or the right, because you're focusing on your next level of excellence. And then when you get there, it's your next level of excellence. And then when you get there, it's your next level of excellence. And so when I have been able to help girls and women understand this, it changes the trajectory of their lives. It changed my life, right? And so that is the core of what we do. Now, the foundation has 3 areas of focus: educating girls and women. So we give scholarships. We've given about, 45,000? Yeah, over $45,000 in scholarships.
Oh my.
And we'll give another 30,000 this year.
No way.
We give business grants. Yeah, we give business grants to women. And so we're at this year to date, 68,000, because we just got the $50,000 for the Sister Accord Accelerator.
Beautiful.
So you can say that, you want to make a difference, but people need resources, right? And so we are giving the financial support as well. Enlightening girls and women of the power of sisterhood. That's all of our events that we have, where people walk away and they're like, oh, I felt that. And now I can go and move towards that next level of excellence. And then the third area, which, eradicating bullying and violence against girls and women. And wow. Domestic violence rates are through the roof in the US, around the world, especially in during the pandemic. Domestic violence rates have gone, really high. And so we are working on, what does that look like to help boys and men understand that there are more effective ways to handle conflict, and that we don't have to resort to violence. So that's why boys and men are a big part of the Sister Accord mission. We cannot eradicate bullying and violence against girls and women just talking to ourselves.
No, it's the education process. How are you actually doing this? What steps are you taking to do this?
Yeah. The violence, the bullying, and
the bullying, violence.
So we are in school systems, with our curriculum, and then the Sisterhood and Brotherhood in the Workplace platform is another very important aspect of what we do. And then we partner with organizations. So Women Helping Women in Cincinnati. I used to be on the board there. I got off of the board so that I could start my foundation and then give money to them, right? And so I had a plan in mind for us.
Clever.
I just love them. And so we, partner as well, but they just do amazing work helping survivors of domestic violence, sexual assault, and stalking.
Amazing. And how do you know how the young men, boys are responding to this?
Oh, it's just, it's awesome. When I've talked to them, when they hear my message, and that's both for men and for young men, they all start to reflect, right? And gosh, I don't have to say that. Do that, so they're learning how to communicate much more effectively. And I think that's where it began to start for them, is, wait a minute, like, I don't have to scream and holler, I don't have to, do some of those things. And we know that there's some women who like to fight, right?
Yes,
so we can blame it all on the guys. And so getting people to learn self-control, a big part of this. Like, how do you control your emotions to the point where you don't say, well, you did that, so now I have to do this?
Yeah, retaliate.
No, No, we're not making excuses for that. We
Mm-hmm.
want to own our stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We want to make sure that we have a plan in place that helps us to resolve conflict in a healthy way. But it takes a lot of practice. You have to be committed to it. It's a daily thing
Mm-hmm.
because people are going to do stuff to tick you off.
Mm-hmm. They
Yeah,
are. And it depends on your triggers too. I mean, this is a
that's right.
fantastic way for them to learn their triggers
That's
and
right.
to dive deeper into why have I got this trigger in the first place.
Right.
It's incredible what you're doing
Right.
and
Yeah.
building more
We talk a lot
resilience.
about triggers.
Yeah,
You got to
yeah,
know your triggers.
yeah, yeah.
Because once you understand what they are and when you see them and you have a plan in place to address them, you
Mm-hmm.
won't find yourself just running willy-nilly
And
and
being
doing things
scattered.
that you exactly and doing things that you really will end up regretting later.
Yeah, yeah, and so many of us live in a hyper sense of reactivity the whole time
Yeah,
because of our triggers. We
yeah,
don't realize it till someone comes along and shows us.
that's
And
right.
then suddenly we're like, oh, that's why I do this, and this is happening.
Exactly.
So educating people in this way is phenomenal because that's where the problems are starting,
That's right.
right? And so it's amazing what you're doing, and such a huge task, though. I mean, this is enormous.
So
How
huge.
many? It's huge. Do you? I'm assuming you have a team that works with you
Yeah, a lot of
around the
volunteers,
country. Uh-huh.
but none of us, we, I don't take a salary from the foundation. Um, and volunteers don't have salaries. So the next step for me in all of this is to get funding,
Yes.
right? So when we get funding, I mean, watch out.
Yeah.
If we've been able to do all of this over the past 8 years with just volunteers, imagine what is getting ready to happen for this organization when we can get the proper funding to do
Mm-hmm.
this work. I mean, we're going to be clearly on another whole level.
You're going
I
to
can't,
be on another level, and it aligns with your coaching as well, and what you're
right,
doing with the Dreamwalkers and the coaching. It all
right.
walks,
It's
hand in
all
hand
connected.
together. Yeah.
Yeah,
So you're doing the coaching at the same time that you're doing this as well. So you're
right.
running this, you're running two businesses at the same
That's
time.
right.
All
That's
right.
right.
How do, that's a lot. So how let's just I'm just sitting here stunned. How
That's a lot.
that's a lot. How do you how do you stay clear, be a mom, be a
Mhm,
daughter, take
mhm.
care of your dad, run these
Yeah.
two businesses? What does a typical day look like for you?
Well, what I started to do was I unfortunately was one of those people who used to say, I'll sleep when I die. And I
Um,
had to stop a lot of really bad practices. I'm naturally a night owl, but
mhm.
I have to take myself to bed so that I can get up in the morning and start with my prayer and meditation, and then be able to decide how I am going to spend my time. Guess what, sister? I had to, because I was allowing people to pull me into their priorities. I
Mhm.
wasn't focused on my own priorities. So
Mhm.
I had to learn how to say no to the
Big
things
one.
I needed to say no to so that I could say yes to the things that I need to say yes to. And so now I have it. It's like a well-oiled machine. I know exactly what I need to do on a daily basis to progress the different aspects and projects that I have to work with my clients. And it just works fabulously well
Of
because I
course.
get my rest. And
Yes.
then I am making sure I started exercising. I'm making sure that I do the self care that
Mhm.
gives me the energy to be able
Mhm.
to do everything else that I need to do.
Absolutely. And that's really good to hear because, as we all have businesses, as entrepreneurs, even, working in corporations,
Mhm.
if we are enjoying what we're doing, there is a tendency to overwork
That's
because we
right.
get so excited by
That's
what we're
right.
doing and we get tired being busy doing what we love. But we can still burn out people. We can
Yeah,
still burn out everyone. So, I do the same. I have to make sure I go to bed because otherwise I'll be up till, goodness knows what time, still
that's right.
doing what I love. And we do need to function the next day. So self-care, super important. Resiliency, super important. Building the coherence in your life between your spiritual world, meditation,
That's right.
physical world, right? With the
That's right.
exercise. mental and emotional, they're
That's
all
right.
just as valuable as each other.
Right.
And it's so good to hear you say that you're actually practicing this now, because you
Every day.
realize, yeah, you got to do it
Every
every
day.
day. Yeah,
Yeah.
practicing your
I do not
capacity.
mess around.
No.
I do not mess around. So I make sure that I am doing the things. Well, you saw me. I love to dance. I'm not
I
a,
saw you.
I am, hey, I get it in, right? And so I'm moving around in the mornings, and that brings me joy. And so I ask people to focus on having moments of joy every day.
Hmm.
And joy every day, even in the midst of everything. Yep, even in the midst of
Yep.
everything that's happening. And
Yep.
so when I can just get a little movement in,
Hmm.
I'm not the best dancer. I don't have to be,
Hmm.
but that just brings me joy. And
Hmm.
joy, and I say this all the time, happiness is fleeting, it's circumstantial, but joy is deep and it can exist in the midst of chaos. And
Yes.
those moments of joy that we releasing the good chemicals in our brain,
Yep.
all throughout our bodies,
Yep.
it gives me so much energy.
Yeah. Wonderful to hear that. And a great testimony to the work that I do with my clients, if they're listening out there, which I know they are, to distract your brain
Yeah.
away from whatever is causing you stress, and
Yeah.
let your brain flood your body with neurochemicals like
Yes.
endorphins, by dancing, by focusing on joy or gratefulness or gratitude. You
Yeah.
know, it gives the heart a new message. And that's what we're
Yeah.
here for. We're here to have joy. This is
Yeah.
why we're here, to
That's right.
experience joy, you know.
That's why
Um,
I love you and what you do. I mean, you're so important. We have to focus on this every day. And so I just
mhm.
want people to just listen and pay attention to what you are saying, because what you are doing is so incredibly important.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a passion project, but it's also mission driven,
Yeah.
because I'm on purpose to help women
Yes.
redefine themselves and
Yeah.
find their brilliance and drop all those limiting beliefs that are holding them back and
Right.
sabotaging them. I'm doing a variation of what you do. I
Yeah.
discovered that too in the corporate world. People were coming to me, women were coming to me. I saw those patterns. I saw the glass
Yeah.
ceiling. I saw the
Yeah.
glass ceiling because they didn't believe in themselves,
That's right.
and they were too busy putting the masculine first rather than
That's
the
right.
feminine. What
That's
does the
right.
masculine think of me? They're not going to like this. I'll need to wear a suit so they like me. It's like, no,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. I
Been
remember,
there, done that.
yeah, yeah, I remember wearing
Got it.
my, I wore a bright red suit to my first board meeting at the age of 25. The only woman to sit at that table at a very famous business institute in London, in Pall Mall. And I sat at that table in that red suit, and I made sure I spoke up, and they heard every word I had to say, but I was shaking like a leaf inside. But it was that red suit that did it for me. I just kept looking at the red, and it gave me that power, the fire. It's so I think I still have it in the closet somewhere. I keep it for
Right.
sentimental value. I don't think I can get in it, but I still have it.
And look at it.
Still inspires me. Sonia, thank you so much for being with us today and sharing your love, your joy, your wisdom, your guidance. You've been so generous in what you've shared with us. You're incredible. I would love to have you give us one nugget of Sonia wisdom. What nugget of wisdom could you share with us today?
The one that people seem to really love, so I'm going to share it here.
Thank you.
There is always a seat at the table for excellence. Focus on being excellent. Now, you may have to create another table, you may have to expand the table that you're at, but when you are focused on being excellent, you can do the unthinkable, the unbelievable, and the unimaginable. And that will take you to places that you never ever thought that you could get to. Those infinite possibilities for your life will come to life.
Beautiful. You are magical.
Oh, I appreciate you so much.
I
Love you.
appreciate and love you too, sister. I really do. And we feel your essence and your energy, what
Thank
you're
you.
doing. And where can we find you?
So I'm on all social media platforms. Twitter is the Sister Cord. Don't forget the.
Uh-huh.
Instagram is the Sister Accord. We have a fan page on Facebook, the Sister Accord. I'm on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
Sonia, Sonia Jackson Myles, Myles. And then we have our websites, thesisteraccord.com, thesisteracordfoundation.org, Sonia, Sonia Jackson Myles, Myles.com as well. And then dreamwalkingcourse.com.
Okay. Dreamwalkingcourse.com. Beautiful. And can we make donations?
Oh, yes, we need it. We need it. So for the Sister Accord Foundation.org, there is a donate button. And please, please, please support this work. We have so much more to do on this journey of getting to 1 billion girls and women learning how to love themselves and each other.
Yeah, imagine 1 billion.
1 billion.
1 billion of us. All of you women out there listening, 1 billion. Let's see if we can help Sonia make this happen. Well, we're going to help you make it happen.
Yes.
And also we can buy your books from the foundation. Yes. We can buy the perfume, the jewelry, and support you in all ways that we can. I'm going to obviously continue to support you. I love what you're doing. And the mission that you're on, it's part of my heart too. And to see you doing this in the way that you're doing it is just incredible. Thank you so much, Sonia. You've been amazing and so generous. I hope that we can do another one of these on another topic. Yeah,
absolutely. Call me anytime.
Okay. Thank you very much.
I'm here for you. And I am here to support you. So please don't ever hesitate if there's anything that I can do to serve you.
Thank you so much. I'll see you soon. Thanks, Sonia.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you. Mwah.
Mwah.
Thank you for listening to Your Unique Brilliance podcast. And if you want to define your brilliance and redefine your diamond potential, schedule a personal consultation with me to discover just how you can do that at nicolasalter.com. While you're there, make sure to subscribe to the show so you will never miss an episode. And if you found value in this show, I would appreciate a rating on iTunes or simply tell a friend. That would be amazing. You are amazing. Have an empowered week, everyone.